The Gixxer is back. For 2026, the GSX-R1000R returns to the European market, now boasting Euro 5 compliance, revised engine, and a new fresh carbon winglet. But the big question is, can it take down its fiercest Japanese rival, the CBR1000RR-R Fireblade SP? The new 2026 Gixxer might look the same from the outside, but Suzuki's been busy under the fairings. It's still based on the same inline-4 with 999cc that's been around since 2017. But to meet Euro 5 plus regulations, Suzuki has given it a serious internal refresh. Updates include a new crankshaft, new crankcases, new conrods, new pistons, larger exhaust valves, new camshafts, upgraded injectors, a higher pressure fuel pump, a redesigned exhaust system, and bigger throttle bodies, now 48mm, up from 46mm. As for the blade, it's also powered by a 999cc inline-4, but with a more extreme oversquare layout that allows for a higher rev ceiling. 4-valve train. Both bikes run a double overhead cam setup with 4 valves per cylinder, but the blade uses a semi-cam gear train, which helps it rev higher, while also keeping the engine more compact. The Gixxer, meanwhile, sticks with its centrifugal variable valve timing system, giving it a broad, flexible power band with more usable power and torque across a wider range of RPM. For 2026, Gixxer's compression ratio jumps from 13.2 to 13.8 to 1, now higher than the Fireblade's. As for transmission, power is sent to the rear wheel through a 6-speed gearbox with a slipper and assist clutch. With all these updates, you'd expect the new Gixxer to pack more punch than before, but unfortunately, that's not the case. With Euro 5 plus, the Gixxer's power output takes a notable hit, knocking it out of the 200-plus horsepower club. On paper, it now makes the least power of all its superbike rivals, with 195 horsepower at the crank, down from 202, which is much lower than the Blade. Torque is also down from 117 to 110 Nm, again leaving the Honda slightly ahead, though the Gixxer reaches its peak at a lower RPM. Their weights are close, with the Blade just 2 kilos lighter, but Blade's superior power gives it a power-to-weight ratio above 1:1, compared to the Gixxer's 0.96. On the electronic side, the Gixxer hasn't changed much. Both bikes get a 6-axis IMU, lean-sensitive ABS, throttle-by-wire, ride modes, lean-sensitive traction control, and wheelie control, though on the Gixxer, wheelie control is tied to the traction control settings, so you can't adjust it separately. They also both come with launch control, a bidirectional quickshifter, and a lightweight lithium battery as standard. Honda, however, goes a step further. The Blade adds extra rider aids like slide control and engine brake control, and on top of that, it gets a keyless ignition system, mostly because the Ram Air setup's so big there's no room for a regular key. On the dash, it's got a full-color TFT display, though it skips the multimedia system, while the Gixxer still sticks with its old-school LCD screen. Both bikes run an aluminum perimeter frame, the go-to choice for rigidity and balance on superbikes like these. For front suspension, the Blade's got fancy Öhlins NPX semi-active, electronically adjustable forks, while the Gixxer sticks with regular Showa Balance free forks. At the back, same story, the Blade's got an Öhlins TTX semi-active electronic shock, while the Gixxer's running a Showa Balance free cushion shock. Braking is another win for the Blade, with Brembo Stylema R calipers, clamping larger front discs compared to the Gixxer's Brembo M4. Front tires are the same at 120mm, But at the rear, Honda goes slightly wider for extra grip, probably to handle its more powerful engine. Fuel tank capacities are close, with the Blade holding about half a liter more, and fuel consumption is pretty similar as well. The Blade seat height is a bit taller than the Gixxer's, and it also has a longer wheelbase. The Gixxer, on the other hand, not only has the shortest wheelbase but also a steeper rake, which should, at least in theory, make it feel more nimble and agile. As for pricing, the Gixxer's MSRP hasn't been announced yet, but since this year's updates aren't major, it'll probably only be slightly higher than last year's $18,500, still far cheaper than the Blade SP, which comes in at $29,000. So, if you're after the ultimate spec sheet, the Blade SP is the premium option. It's 50% more expensive than the Gixxer, but you're paying for a more sophisticated and powerful bike with stronger top end, more torque, and it's even a bit lighter. You get state-of-the-art electronics the Gixxer lacks, like slide control, engine brake control, keyless start, and a TFT dash. Add in the high-end semi-active Öhlins suspension and higher-spec Brembo Stylema R brakes, and you can see where that extra money goes. The Gixxer, on the other hand, is more of a budget, everyday superbike. Its power output has been trimmed because of stricter Euro 5+ regulations, though Suzuki claims the torque delivery is more linear. On paper, though, it sits at the bottom of the horsepower charts among current top-tier superbikes. Electronics are decent, but not as sophisticated or adjustable as the Blades. There's no semi-active Öhlins suspension, no fancy Stylema calipers, but if the price ends up around our prediction of $18,000, it's hard to complain.